Now, an important thing, guys, really important. Declaring variables in languages is extremely different, and, well, I don't want to say extremely different. A lot of it's the same, but there are a lot of things that are different. So let's take a look at a few languages and how we can declare variables in them. And we'll first look at our little baby here, C++. So in C++, Brian, these declarations look eerily similar to the ones in our pseudocode. I wonder why that is. So in C++, we would declare an integer by saying int, which is short for integer, the name of the variable, and then the value. Character, char, short for character, C, which is the name of our variable, equals single quote S single quote. You find in most languages the single quote represents a character, whereas the double quote in the next example is indicative of a string. So string word equals quote hello quote.
So generally speaking, when you see single quotes, you won't see more than one character between them.
And if you do, some languages like SQL are okay with that, but
not often.
Yeah, it's not that often. Perl does that, but not often. You're right. Bool is true equals true. In some languages, you would actually have a 0 or a 1 value. In most languages, you can just say true or say false. Double pi equals 3.14. So let's take a look at these exact same variable declarations in a language called Visual Basic, which I think, from reading the scripts from the earlier videos, I think this is your favorite language, right?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Like, you love this language more than anything in the world.
I think this is the language of the future.
It is now 1991.
Our favorite language.
Your favorite language, I think.
Visual Basic.
Don't you have a tattoo on your arm that says, I heart VB?
I actually have... Visual is on one inner thigh, and Basic is on my other inner thigh.
And they're constantly loving each other.
Yes, exactly. So everywhere I walk, my two inner thighs are just gently grazing among each other. How's that for a visual image? Internet.
Wow.
Put that on YouTube and shove it.
I feel kind of sick, actually.
So, when we declare a variable in Visual Basic, we redundantly put dim in front of every one of these declarations. So we say dim number, which is what we're calling our variable in this case, as an integer, which is equal to, in this case, the number 1, 2, 3, 4. So dim, which this is not something that's intuitively understood, stands for dimension. And dimension was originally used in the earlier implementations of BASIC to define...
That was that Dartmouth?
Yeah, BASIC.
BASIC? That was like in the 60s or 70s? 70s.
So originally, dimension was fully spelled out, and it was used when declaring arrays. And the size an array would require in memory. So basically, dimension this dimension of the array in memory. Later, it just kind of became adopted to say dimension this into memory. Because the implementation of saying as an integer and as a character, as far as memory is concerned, tells the computer or the compiler how much memory to pre-allocate.
Right.
So we're basically dimensioning this amount of space. And how much space? Well, it depends on the data type. As an integer. So an integer requires whatever.
32 bits.
Yeah. So it's redundant. It's stupid. You have to just type dim. It's not dim sum. It's just dim.
Dim.
So dim, C as character, as char, equal to single quote.
Well, I think it's double quote.
Is it really?
I think it's double quote in VB.
Visual Basic, I hate you. Let me count the ways.
Do a quick Google on Visual Basic char.
Yep, you're right.
So, as we were talking before with the single quote, not so much with VB.
Yeah, well, Microsoft endorsed it, so not all rules apply.
And not all rules apply consistently.
There you go. Then we have dim, a variable called word, as string. And this is also double quote, hello, exclamation point. Dim is true as Boolean is true, and dim pi is double is... So like we've seen before.
Boy, am I glad that's over.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about some variable declarations in Perl, which couldn't be more beautiful.
Yes.
Now, Perl is a language that they like to treat all their data types very similarly. So you can take one data type and make it another one without even having to do anything. So when I say I want to declare a number, just, okay, do it. Dollar number equals 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah,
and it's
like free love.
Yeah, so then I'm like, hey, Perl, I want to make a word. Yeah, just put quotes around it. That's cool. Whatever. Hey, Perl, I want to make a Boolean. Yeah, what? Just shut up and just
do it.
Put true there. You don't have to ask it. You just do it.
Just stick it in there.
That's why I like Perl and PHP.
It's like the hippie language. It's awesome.
Now let's take a look at something a little different. TCL, which is a little bit more, but not nearly as annoying as VB.
But it's similar in the sense that you don't declare the type of variable.
Yeah, that's true.
You just set a number as this. You set the word as that. You set is true to 1 for true, or 0 is false.
Yeah, you set pi as 3.14.
And so it will naturally see that you used a decimal point in pi, 3.14, and however far you want to go, and it will determine from what you gave it what kind of variable we're going to store it in at that point in time.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
So that's the end of our little video here on variables and data types in basic math functions. Brian, you have anything else to add?
Visual Basic sucks.
See you guys in the next video.